Good morning. Thank you so much for being here with me this morning, or if you're watching it later on recording, I really appreciate it. This is day 2 of using StreamYard. And yesterday went pretty well. I have some things to learn, but hindsight pretty well. And I received some great feedback and also some confirmation that it's a great service. So it's just a new learning, right? Every day, a new day and a step forward. I wanted to talk about something today that happened last night, and it's kind of in conjunction with a chapter I'm writing for my book on tools. And my book is Confidence Mastery for Couples, a roadmap to a more intimate relationship. And that comes out in March 9th to be exact. And a podcast that I released this morning on Good Karma Success Coach podcast, and it's episode 109. And the episode's on anxiety. And it shares a story that I went through last weekend, New Year's Eve weekend, with my flat tire, and how I dealt with it and how I pushed through it. Because typically I'm not someone that struggles with anxiety on a regular basis. And I talk a little bit about that in the podcast, so I don't want to regurgitate. But last weekend was a struggle for me. So I wanted to share it with some tips and tools and how I moved through it. And it ended up working out all great, right? Because some forms of anxiety are things that we can control and we can have the confidence to push through. So what happened last night is my husband got home from his charter. And my husband is Ryan, Good Karma Sport Fishing. And he got home from his charter and started to tell me that something had been bothering him for the past, let's say, 48 hours. And he had tried to figure out what the trigger was. And he still doesn't really know what the trigger was, let's say. But the challenge became, why didn't he talk to me about it sooner, right? Why was he carrying this around with him for the past 48 hours when there are plenty of tools that he could use to push through the situation? And we started to talk about it a little more because often he'll say to me, I know. And I know the tools and something I write about in the book. And he doesn't really do them. And I'm like, you have the tools. And he doesn't do them, right? So this is like a daily conversation with us, with different things that happen. And because of sport fishing being such a challenging business model, we have stuff that happens all the time. It's actually really insane. So I started to realize that the tool was really simple. And it was just asking me for help because I know how to solve the situation. But often the word tool is so big and so daunting to people that they don't realize that a tool is something that could be as simple as having a conversation with somebody. A tool can be as simple as changing your mindset, changing your thought, thinking a better thought, asking for help with a prayer. A tool doesn't have to be this all-encompassing, daunting thing, right? And, someone may think, oh, do I have to go reach, for a book to read, or do I have to meditate? Because some people don't like to meditate. Some people think it's challenging. They don't have time. Their mind, they can't quiet their mind. They have lots of different reasons, and some are excuses. But sometimes a tool is really just a simple thing. And that simple thing would have been if he would have told me he was struggling with the situation closer to when it happened instead of 48 hours later. I could have helped him work through it sooner because I understood. I understood completely what was going on. And I was able to use my tools to then help him push through it. And within like an hour, he was better. So I don't want people to get so overwhelmed when they hear the word tools out there, because a lot of people are using that word. I get it. I use it too, right? But I think that there's just a part of it that could be daunting for people. So just break it down, keep it simple. Just realize that asking for help with a friend, a family member, a spouse is a tool. Having a different thought is a tool just as much as pulling a book off your bookshelf and looking for an answer, or Googling, or meditating, or journaling, or walking. There's gazillions of tools out there. And just try to keep it simple and ask for help. So I hope that you like the podcast that I did today. And I really hope that you share it with somebody, even if you feel you're not struggling with anxiety. You may not be, and that's great. Just remember that podcast and that it's out there to help somebody. So whether it's to help you or a friend or family member, please feel free to share it. And I hope that everyone has an amazing day. Thanks again for watching. Thank you.